We live in a world that thrives on achievement, a world that conditions us to believe that success is a trophy, something to be won, displayed, and admired. We chase promotions, accolades, and recognition as if crossing some invisible finish line will finally make us feel complete. But here's the truth. Success isn't a fixed point. It isn't a destination we arrive at one day and say, finally, I made it. Success is a journey. It's a continuous process of growth, learning, and adaptation. The most successful people in the world, whether in business, sports, or life, never stop improving. They don't see success as an end goal. They see it as an ongoing evolution. They measure success not by a single achievement, but by their ability to keep moving forward no matter the challenges. And part of that journey is learning how to navigate the voices around us, the criticism, the praise, the doubts, and the expectations. It's about understanding that not every opinion, comment, or action directed at us is about us. So today, let's talk about an essential skill in this journey, the art of not taking things personally. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately sensed something was off? Maybe a friend barely acknowledged you. Maybe a coworker was unusually cold. Maybe someone responded to your idea in a way that felt dismissive or harsh, and instantly your mind goes into overdrive. Did I say something wrong? Are they upset with me? Did I do something to offend them? We've all been there. The human brain is wired to seek patterns and explanations, so when someone's behavior shifts, we instinctively assume it must have something to do with us. But here's the truth, most of the time, it doesn't. People operate from their own world, shaped by their experiences, stresses, fears, and emotions. The way they act toward you is rarely about you, it's about them. Their mood, their struggles, their circumstances. Yet we tend to personalize their reactions, as if their words or actions are a direct reflection of our worth. Imagine this. You're at work and your boss walks in looking frustrated. No greeting, no small talk, just straight to business. Immediately, your stomach tightens. Did I do something wrong? Did I mess up on that report? Are they disappointed in me? You spend the rest of the day walking on eggshells, feeling anxious, questioning yourself. Then later you find out your boss had a fight with their spouse that morning, or maybe they got bad news about a project, or they were simply lost in thought, consumed by something entirely unrelated to you. Yet, you carried the weight of that interaction all day for nothing. This happens in all areas of life. You text a friend, and they take hours, maybe even days, to respond. Your mind starts filling in the blanks. Are they mad at me? Did I say something wrong? Are they ignoring me? But then when they finally reply, you find out they've been overwhelmed with work, dealing with personal issues, or simply forgot. It had nothing to do with you, but your mind convinced you it did. The same pattern happens in relationships, at work, even with strangers. A rude cashier at the grocery store, a driver who cuts you off, a colleague who doesn't acknowledge your effort. In these moments, it's easy to react emotionally, to assume their actions are an attack on you. But what if you paused and asked a different question? What else could be going on in their world? Because here's the thing, everyone is fighting battles we can't see. The person who was short with you might be struggling with something deeply personal. The coworker who dismissed your idea might be dealing with their own insecurities. The friend who's been distant might be going through a storm they haven't shared. And when we start to see things this way, we free ourselves from unnecessary pain. Think about the times you've been preoccupied when you were stressed, frustrated, or overwhelmed. In those moments, did you always respond perfectly to others? Probably not. Maybe you were short with someone without meaning to be. Maybe you forgot to check in on a friend. Maybe you came across as cold or distracted when your mind was elsewhere. Did that mean you disliked those people? Did it mean you were intentionally trying to hurt them? Of course not. So why do we assume the worst when the roles are reversed? The truth is, people are human, imperfect, flawed, and most of the time their actions are a reflection of their inner world, not a judgment of ours. When we internalize this, we start to see interactions differently. We stop feeling the need to explain, defend, or overanalyze. We stop letting other people's moods dictate our self-worth. We stop carrying emotional burdens that were never ours to begin with. We realize that the way people treat us is more about them than it is about us. No one likes being criticized. It stings. It makes us uncomfortable. It triggers a deep, almost primal reaction, like we're being attacked. Our first instinct is to defend, to justify, or to reject it altogether. But what if we looked at criticism differently? What if, instead of seeing it as an attack, we saw it as information? Because that's all criticism really is, data. It's an opinion, an observation, a reflection of someone else's perspective. It is not a declaration of your worth. It is not an absolute truth. It is simply input. And how you interpret that input is entirely up to you. Think about the people who achieve great things in life, leaders, artists, athletes, entrepreneurs. Do you think they got to where they are by avoiding criticism, by refusing to hear what others had to say? No. They got there by learning how to use criticism as fuel. Great athletes analyze their mistakes. They watch game footage, study their movements, and listen to their coaches, not because they enjoy being told what they did wrong, but because they know that's how they improve. The best musicians don't ignore critiques, they embrace them. They refine their technique, adjust their approach, and sharpen their skills. The most successful leaders surround themselves with people who challenge them, not just those who agree with them, because they understand that growth comes from feedback, not from comfort. But here's the key: not all criticism is useful. Some feedback is constructive. It comes from people who want to help you grow, from those who have insight or experience that can make you better. Other criticism is just noise. It's rooted in negativity, jealousy, or misunderstanding. The trick is knowing the difference. When someone criticizes you, ask yourself, does this person have experience or knowledge that makes their feedback valuable? Is there truth in what they're saying, even if it's uncomfortable to hear? Is this feedback given with the intention to help, or is it just an expression of their own frustration or bias? Not every opinion deserves space in your mind. Just because someone says something doesn't mean you have to accept it. If the feedback is constructive, take it, learn from it, use it to sharpen your skills and refine your approach. But if the criticism is coming from a place of negativity, insecurity, or misunderstanding, let it go. This shift in mindset is powerful, because when you stop seeing criticism as an attack and start seeing it as information, you take back control. You stop reacting emotionally and start responding intentionally. You build resilience. You develop the ability to listen, to learn, and to adapt without letting it shake your confidence. Imagine a leader who shuts down every time someone challenges their idea. They dismiss input, ignore feedback, and insist they're always right. Over time, what happens? They stop growing. Their team stops engaging. Innovation slows, and they become stuck. Now, imagine a leader who listens, who doesn't take feedback personally, but instead evaluates it with curiosity, who sees every critique as an opportunity to refine their approach. That's the leader who thrives. That's the leader who earns respect, who fosters collaboration, who never stops improving. The same principle applies in every area of life: relationships, work, personal growth. The way you handle criticism determines how far you go. When you embrace feedback instead of fearing it, something shifts. You stop dreading evaluations, performance reviews, or tough conversations. You stop seeing disagreement as a threat. You stop attaching your self-worth to every opinion that comes your way. And when that happens, you become unstoppable. Life is unpredictable. No matter how much we plan, prepare, or try to influence outcomes, there will always be things outside our control. The weather, the economy, other people's opinions, how someone responds to your ideas, the traffic on your way to an important meeting, the way a stranger treats you. Yet despite knowing this, we often waste an incredible amount of energy trying to control what we simply can't. Think about the last time something didn't go your way. Maybe you were counting on a promotion, but it went to someone else. Maybe you poured your heart into a project, but it wasn't received the way you hoped. Maybe a friend distanced themselves and you kept replaying conversations in your head, trying to figure out why. What did all of those situations have in common? They involved factors beyond your control. And yet your mind fixated on them. The frustration, the disappointment, the overthinking, it consumed your thoughts, drained your energy, and pulled you into a spiral of what ifs and if onlys. But what if, instead of trying to control every outcome, we focused on what we can control? There's a simple truth that, when fully understood, can change everything. You cannot control external events, but you can always control how you respond. Let's break this down. You can't control others, but you can control yourself. People will think what they think. They will say what they say. They will do what they do. You can try to persuade, explain, convince, but at the end of the day, people make their own choices. You can't control if someone likes you or not. You can't control if someone understands your perspective. But you can control how much you let their opinions affect you. You can choose whether to dwell on their words or move forward with confidence. You can decide to stand firm in your values, regardless of external validation. This is why some people remain calm in the face of criticism while others crumble under it. It's not that they don't care, it's that they've learned to control their response instead of trying to control other people's reactions. You can't control outcomes, but you can control your effort. We often tie our happiness to results. We think, if I get this job, then I'll be happy. If my business succeeds, then I'll feel worthy. If my partner acts a certain way, then I'll feel loved. But the problem with tying happiness to outcomes is that outcomes are never guaranteed. No matter how hard you work, how well you prepare, or how much you want something, there are external factors at play. Athletes train relentlessly, but they can't control if they win. Entrepreneurs take risks, but they can't control the market. Artists create, but they can't control how their work is received. Does that mean they shouldn't try? Of course not. It means they focus on what they can control: their preparation, their resilience, their mindset. When you shift your focus from results to effort, you take back your power. Because while you can't guarantee success, you can guarantee your commitment. You can guarantee that you show up, put in the work, and give your best. And sometimes that's enough. You can't control every situation, but you can control your perspective. Two people can go through the exact same situation and have completely different experiences. Why? Because of the way they choose to see it. Imagine two employees get laid off from their jobs. One spirals into self-doubt, believing they are a failure. They take it personally, allowing the experience to define them. The other sees it as an opportunity, a chance to pivot, to learn something new, to pursue something they were too afraid to before. The event was the same, the circumstances were the same, but their interpretations were different. The ability to reframe challenges is one of the most powerful tools we have. Because no, we can't always control what happens, but we can control the story we tell ourselves about it. We can choose to see setbacks as setups for something greater. We can decide whether an obstacle is the end of the road or just a detour. You can't control the past, but you can control what you carry forward. How much time do we spend reliving the past, replaying mistakes, wishing we had said something different, regretting choices we made? But the past is done. No amount of thinking, regretting, or analyzing can change it. The only thing we can control is what we do next. You can't change the words you said in a heated moment, but you can choose to apologize and make things right. You can't undo a missed opportunity, but you can prepare for the next one. You can't rewrite past failures, but you can extract lessons from them and move forward stronger. Holding on to the past is like carrying a heavy backpack. It slows you down. But the moment you decide to put it down, to stop carrying what no longer serves you, you free yourself to move forward. You can't control the future, but you can control how you show up today. So much anxiety comes from worrying about the future. What if things don't go as planned? What if I fail? What if I never get to where I want to be? But here's the thing, the future hasn't happened yet. And no amount of worrying will give you control over it. What you can control is how you show up right now. You can't guarantee success 5 years from now, but you can take action today. You can put in the work. You can build the habits, the mindset, and the discipline that will set you up for success, no matter what happens. When you focus on the present moment, on what you can do today, you take back your power. You stop living in the uncertainty of what if and start owning the certainty of what is. Life will test you. That's a guarantee. You will face setbacks, disappointments, failures, and criticism. You will encounter people who don't believe in you, situations that feel unfair, and moments that shake your confidence. No one is immune to adversity. But the difference between those who break under pressure and those who rise stronger isn't their circumstances, it's their emotional resilience. Emotional resilience is the ability to stay strong in the face of challenges, to navigate difficult emotions without being consumed by them, and to keep moving forward even when things don't go your way. It's not about suppressing emotions or pretending everything is fine. It's about developing the inner strength to handle life's ups and downs without being derailed. Think of resilience like a muscle. No one is born with it fully developed. It's built through experience, through struggle, through learning how to handle adversity without letting it define you. So, how do we develop emotional resilience? 1, strengthen your self-awareness. Resilience starts with knowing yourself, your triggers, your patterns, your emotional reactions. How do you respond to criticism, to failure, to uncertainty? Do you shut down? Do you lash out? Do you overthink? The more self-aware you become, the better equipped you are to manage your emotions rather than be controlled by them. It's easy to blame external circumstances for how we feel. I'm stressed because of my job. I'm angry because of what they said. I'm frustrated because nothing is going my way. But resilient people don't just react, they observe their emotions before acting on them. They pause, they reflect, they ask, why am I feeling this way? Is this reaction helpful? How can I respond in a way that aligns with my values? When you understand your emotions, you gain power over them. Instead of being driven by frustration, fear, or anger, you become intentional in your responses. 2, separate thoughts from reality. Your mind is constantly generating thoughts. Some are useful, some are not. But the mistake we make is assuming that every thought is true. Imagine you make a mistake at work. Your mind immediately starts spiraling. I'm terrible at this. What if they think I'm incompetent? I'm going to fail. Resilient people know that thoughts are not facts. They don't believe everything their mind tells them. Instead, they challenge negative thoughts. Is this actually true? Or is this just my fear talking? Would I say this to a friend in the same situation? What's the bigger picture here? When you learn to separate thoughts from reality, you stop being a victim of your own mind. You recognize that just because something feels true doesn't mean it is true. And when you do that, you take back control. 3, discomfort is part of growth. No one likes discomfort. No one enjoys failure. But the truth is, the most resilient people are the ones who embrace discomfort instead of running from it. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to grow. Every failure is a lesson. Every setback is a test of your strength. Think about the times in your life when you grew the most, when you became stronger, wiser, or more capable. It probably wasn't during the easy moments. It was during the struggles, the challenges, the moments when you were forced to adapt, to learn, to persevere. Resilient people don't see obstacles as reasons to quit. They see them as stepping stones. They know that growth requires discomfort, and they lean into it instead of avoiding it. 4, control your response, not the situation. Resilience isn't about eliminating difficulties. It's about handling them better. You can't control if someone criticizes you, but you can control whether you take it personally or use it as feedback. You can't control if a relationship ends, but you can control whether you let it define your worth or see it as part of your journey. You can't control if life throws unexpected challenges your way, but you can control whether you crumble under them or rise stronger. Resilient people focus their energy on what they can control. They don't waste time trying to change things beyond their influence. They accept reality, adapt, and move forward. 5, develop a strong inner foundation. Imagine a tree in a storm. The wind blows, the rain pours, but the tree stands firm because its roots run deep. Your resilience works the same way. When you have a strong inner foundation, when you truly know who you are, you don't break under pressure. You might bend, you might struggle, but you don't collapse. How do you build this foundation? Know your values. What do you stand for? What matters to you, no matter what others say? When you're grounded in your values, external criticism doesn't shake you. Develop self-confidence. Confidence isn't about never doubting yourself. It's about knowing that, even if things go wrong, you have the ability to figure it out. Find meaning in challenges. Instead of seeing hardship as unfair, ask, what is this teaching me? The moment you find meaning in struggle, it stops being a burden and becomes a lesson. 6. Build a healthy relationship with stress. Stress is inevitable, but the way we respond to stress determines whether it weakens us or makes us stronger. Some people let stress consume them, they let it paralyze them, they see it as a sign that they're failing. But resilient people see stress differently. They see it as a signal, not a threat, a sign that they care, a challenge to be managed, not avoided. Instead of thinking, I'm overwhelmed, I can't do this, they think, this is tough, but I can handle it. Instead of fighting stress, they work with it through mindfulness exercise, deep breathing, and perspective shifts. The key isn't eliminating stress, it's learning how to manage it so it doesn't manage you. 7, surround yourself with the right people. Resilience isn't just about inner strength, it's also about the support system you build around you. No one gets through life alone. We all need people who lift us up, who remind us of our strength, who challenge us to keep going when we feel like giving up. But the wrong people can drain your resilience. Negative, critical, or toxic individuals can make every challenge feel heavier. That's why resilient people are intentional about who they surround themselves with. They seek out mentors, friends, and communities that empower them. They listen to voices that push them forward, not pull them down. Because at the end of the day, resilience isn't about never feeling weak, it's about knowing where to turn when you do. 8, keep moving forward. Resilience isn't about avoiding failure, it's about what you do after you fail. Everyone stumbles, everyone falls, but resilient people don't stay down. They don't dwell on the past or let setbacks define them. They acknowledge the pain, learn the lesson, and keep going. They know that strength isn't measured by how many times you avoid failure, it's measured by how many times you rise after falling. Resilience isn't something you're born with, it's something you build. It's a skill, a mindset, a way of approaching life that allows you to navigate setbacks without losing your sense of self. It's about recognizing that while you can't control everything that happens, you can control how you respond. When you stop taking things personally, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering. When you reframe criticism as feedback, you turn every challenge into an opportunity for growth. When you focus on what you can control and let go of what you can't, you stop wasting energy on things beyond your influence. And when you develop emotional resilience, you build an unshakable foundation, one that allows you to stand strong in the face of adversity. Life will always have ups and downs. People will misunderstand you. Plans will fall apart. Things won't always go the way you expect. But when you cultivate resilience, you don't just survive those moments, you thrive in them. Because resilience isn't about avoiding difficulty. It's about becoming the kind of person who can handle it, learn from it, and come out stronger on the other side.